Let's go out to Wisconsin right now. We're going to Daddy Maxwell's, that's a diner, in Williams Bay, Wisconsin. Todd Piro is there. That is Paul Ryan's district. And, Todd, a lot of people are talking about the president versus the Republican leadership. How do the folks out in Speaker Ryan's neck of the woods feel about that dynamic?
Steve, you couldn't have said it any better. That is literally the #1 topic of conversation. That and these donuts, of which the count is already up to 1.5. But like you said, this area voted heavily for President Trump. It's also Speaker Ryan's district. So what do the people think? I'm going to start with Jim. Jim is a financial planner who really does not like the fact that President Trump tied Harvey funding to the debt limit. Why?
We have to address our fiscal issues, and by working with Pelosi and Schumer, it sounds like trouble is coming and too many strings are going to be attached to that bill. I'd much rather see clean legislation, one thing at a time, one step at a time, instead of getting into bed with probably the two biggest snakes on the planet. But
this being Paul Ryan's district, you do not let Mr. Ryan off the hook. Why?
No, he's been our representative for well over 10 years, and we've been told for years and years, I've got great tax plans coming, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that, and there's nothing on the table, no legislation introduced. It'd be pretty easy to put a tax plan together on a napkin and run it through Congress. Taxes go to 15% January 1st, and there's no legislation out there, so it's pretty disappointing to be told this time after time and nothing happens.
Jim, thank you for your time. You are, again, not 100% supporting Mr. Ryan. These folks over here are big Paul Ryan fans. We're going to start with Pam. Pam, why do you support Paul Ryan?
Well, I supported him and worked for him since '98 as a volunteer, and he is a true conservative, and he's also a person that I really trust ethically. And I like the things he's done. He's been put in a very difficult position at this point, and most of the people around here didn't really want him to take the speaker job because one's torn in so many directions.
I want to ask you this, tying the Harvey package to the debt limit, it really didn't seem like Paul Ryan was a big fan of that, and in fact he wanted a much longer debt limit, but he says he's going ahead with what the president wants. Do you think that's really what Paul Ryan wants?
Well, I think that prior to the hurricane and the coming hurricane, he wanted a longer-term solution, but I think he really understands that with compassion for the people with the hurricanes, that they really need to do it this way, even though it's not his first choice. I mean, that's what politics is. If you insist on your first choice, like McCain and some people I would name, right, then you're not going to get anything or help anyone.
There's also one other big issue here, especially this weekend. There's a little football game. Who are we rooting for, everybody?
Go Tigers!
There you go. You have it here from Wisconsin. Back to New York.
You don't see that every day. All right, Todd, thank you very much.